Local St. Martiners are among the most highly educated and industrious people in this region. If one takes into account the leaps that local St. Martiners have made, from a simple people to eloquent middle-class persons, then there's little to grieve about. As any other social group, they have made mistakes along the way, lacking the savvy that more worldly newcomers had. But all in all, I would say they have done pretty well. What is of consequence now is for locals to step up a notch and make their parents proud, as their parents made their own parents and their grandparents proud. That local St. Martiners can dream the dreams they dream today is due to the tourist industry and the new St. Martiners they interact with on a daily basis. Thus, in my opinion, St. Martiners, locals and newcomers alike, have to recognize that they are global people living on a global island. Now, the third source of St. Martin culture, I would say, contemporary St. Martin culture, is the reinstatement of Christianity into the realm of religio and away from the realm of religion. Let me explain that. Most St. Martiners, the vast majority being Christians, stress the importance of remembering the biblical verse that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Thus, instead of the holier-than-thou attitude that chastises others for being wrong and disbelievers, most St. Martiners recognize their own fallibility as well as that of the other. I would say that due to the tolerance, most St. Martiners have implicitly reinstated Christianity into the realm of religio as opposed to the realm of religion, whereby we denounce the other for not believing the way we do. Where one has religion, one has the capacity and the possibility for intolerance. For one is easily swayed into believing that one is better than one's fellow man. One is a saint, and the other who does not believe the way one does is an unrepenting sinner. Conversely, where one has religio, one has the recognition that all things and every person that one encounters contains traces of the sacred, which is beyond human comprehension, beyond the ambit, beyond the scope of systems of worship and religious knowledge that distinguish Christians from Jews, Jews from Muslims, Muslims from Hindus, Hindus from Buddhists, and Buddhists from practitioners of Santeria. With religio, one truly sees oneself in the other and appreciates, as a housekeeper who works in one of the hotels on the island told me, and I quote her, "Once you are born, you are a Christian. We are all children of God, since we all belong to the Adamic race." This woman, who had enjoyed very little schooling, made it clear to me that she understood that every human being is an Adam, a being thrown into the world, a being that must carve out a space in life for him or herself. That she could see a Christian in every person that she would meet, and all the persons that she would never meet, meant that she understood that Christianity should be an expression of religio and not an expression of religion. She understood also that Christianity is about having an ethical relationship with the other, and these others are inevitably part of oneself, for all of us stem from the universal mind, or what theologians call God. Now let me briefly end by recapitulating and stating the key areas that I believe that St. Martiners should attend to if they want to implement a cultural policy. Now, these are 4 key areas. The first one is that the cultural policy should be about remembering the legacy of the plantation system. It should make young and old St. Martiners aware of the horrific outcome in the Caribbean and elsewhere of the evil that can come about when men and women judge their worth by the color of their skin, the size of their pocketbooks, and the trinkets they possess. Much of the crime amongst youths, I believe, is due to the legacies of the plantation system and the ideas that still remain. Secondly, a policy that celebrates St. Martin's core cultural values should enhance the recognition that from the earliest days of colonialism, due to the plantation system, St. Martin culture contains traces of Africa, Asia, Europe, America, and Australia. St. Martin is thoroughly creolized and in a continuous state of creolization. Furthermore, since St. Martin has been modern before the term modernity came into fashion, people should know that it is they that make culture, in the here and now, and therefore they are not captives of the past unless they want to be captives of that past. Thirdly, the Culture Department, in conjunction with its partners, should deepen the understanding that since the advent of mass tourism on St. Martin, this island is a global island, populated by globally oriented people. In this deepening, the disgruntled few among the locals should be brought to the recognition that their ancestors who toiled the lands for free, those who did not have the opportunity to educate themselves and to own anything except their bread, for instance, that they would be proud of what they've achieved up till now, and it's for them to achieve even more in the future. Lastly, a cultural policy, if it is drafted, should pay attention to making St. Martinez aware that Christianity should be in the realm of religio and away from the realm of religion. This realization would further the multi-religious tolerance on the island and influence persons practicing other faiths to see their beliefs in a transcendent power as expressions of religio. Now I'd like to end this presentation with a quote of Father Charles. Father Charles is a Catholic priest on the French side of the island, who I spoke to a lot whilst I was on this island doing research. And one of the days I asked him what was he playing Bob Marley's One Love during a Catholic Mass. And this is what he responded. You are wondering what a Catholic priest is doing, singing reggae music during the Sunday Mass. But I tell you, I'm afraid of the man who only reads one book or listens to only one kind of music. Such a man is even more dreadful if he lives on a tourist island such as ours. That would be an intolerant man, a destructive man, a man that points his fingers to his countrymen as well as to the tourists. Such a man would forget that God made him a man and he would want to behave like an angel. Now I tell you, a man that tries to behave like an angel turns out to be a beast. St. Martinez should not engage in such reckless behavior. St. Martinez should read many books and listen to many different kinds of music. Become more universal because they are living on an international island. I think Father Charles has said it well, for St. Martin is an international island who, due to the three sources of culture, has an international way of life. This internationalness, to me, is the core cultural value that St. Martinez should celebrate and nourish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Guadeloupe. And right about now, we'd like you to give the Commissioner of Culture, Mr. Louis E. LaBase, a round of applause as he comes to stage secretary.
Good night. First of all, I would like to give thanks to the Almighty God. And I would want to thank all of you for showing the interest in coming out here this evening for this very historic occasion. I want to recognize the presence of the Leader of Government, Mrs. Sarah Westcott Williams. And this is about all the French I could speak. Monsieur le Maire. I've just seen Council Lady Benedicta Arundel walk in the room, so welcome. And I also want to recognize the UNESCO representative, Ms. Ekmeyer, Dr. Francio Guadeloupe, Professor Metaphor, Mrs. Josiane Fleming-Artson, and I also want to thank Pastor Carmi Rogers, who had to leave for another engagement. But I want to thank him so much for so gracefully accepting to give the opening prayer. And Mr. Neville York, thank you so very much. I believe I missed someone, Mr. Alder, Mr. Alder. Knowing me, I'm going to stick to this prepared